All right, we're on.
Are we?
Yeah, let's see how this audio reacts to car sounds. We're on our way to Burr Mill Park. Do a walk, do some test footage, test out how this little guy works and how these mics work and all that jazz. We bought an extra microphone so that we have two because it only comes with one. And we bought a transceiver to attach these mics to a different camera so we don't have to bring two sets of mics, just one.
Now, I think we do have, one of the questions that I have is like, we do have to change these back and forth between like the Bluetooth mode that works with the Osmo and then the non-Bluetooth wireless mode that works with the receiver. So that's gonna be interesting. This is definitely kind of like a newer...
This is pre-test for Japan.
Yeah, that's
Taking
true.
this guy to Japan.
I'm not like super excited about the quality, but I mean, I think I would put it like on par with an iPhone 14. Unfortunately, like from some of my recent tests with the DJI D-Log-M or whatever they call it, it's garbage. It's fake. I mean, which is so frustrating to me. The HLG mode, I think, is really the only true like HDR wide dynamic range mode for this camera, which is really sad. I was really hoping that D-Log would be, I don't know, somewhat like more realistic. But from like all the testing that I've done, the D-Log-M is just like a compressed and desaturated version of the HLG codec. So I'm not really seeing a bunch of advantage to it.
I like the gimbal on it.
The gimbal's super nice. I mean, I think that's the selling feature for this.
I'm already seeing it right now that like it's helpful. This is a red light, by the way.
It's
Now it's green. I already feel like it's a pro for having in the car when it's like bumpy and everything, because you just can't really avoid bumps in a car, right?
Yeah.
So it makes it very much smoother.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a win on that. It's a 1-inch sensor, which is pretty nice, which should really help with, I don't know, almost any like low light situation. And it should help with like noise in general. Anytime you get like a slightly larger sensor.
And the lens is wide enough.
I'm shocked. This is just a plain...
This is no attachments. The wide angle lens is not on it. I'm only 5'6", my arms aren't that long, and I'm not like overextending my arm or anything. I'm just kind of casually have it out, so it's kind of nice.
I was really concerned when they told me that this was like a 20mm equivalent.
Well, to be fair, you get like an extra 3 inches because of how small the camera is, right?
Yeah,
like
which is significant when you've got a wide angle.
Yeah.
So the other nice thing is that it does have like the face track. So it's nice that it will lock onto your face. Now, the one thing it does not stabilize is up and down.
Oh, really?
No. As you can see, it moves up and down.
Oh, yeah.
So it will try with the angles to do like to keep your face in, but you will still see the bouncing in the camera. So everything else will be stable, but the up and down will not be.
Interesting.
I think it's only like a 3-axis gimbal. So it doesn't have like the Z axis, but it can do tilt, pan, and then like left and right. Trying to keep it tracked on you, but it's moving towards me. So
I will say it is hard not to look at the screen in this one.
Oh yeah.
This camera.
Because it's right there.
Yeah.
If you got sunglasses on, you can't really tell,
And
but
the
yeah.
lens is like very small.
Yeah, but the on-off mechanism is really nice. Like the flipping.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. But it's not bad.
Huh. That's better.
Much better. Now, I will tell you the one downside to the wide angle lens, which is something that like I wanted to, like extra filters for the wide angle lens, but you can really only have like one filter on at a time. Now, ooh, this will be interesting because it gets quite bright. Yes, you can only have one filter on at a time here, which was kind of a little bit frustrating to me because, and I've heard that there's like commercial solutions, like third-party commercial solutions that are kind of coming out where people are adding, you know, filters that are stackable. I have heard the screen protectors, which I did order a screen protector for this just because I know that we're gonna throw it in our bags, but I did not get one for the camera lens on this, only because almost everybody universally said, like on any of the forums and reviews, that this thing has problems with adding those. I think this is the benefit with like buying products like 6 months after their release. Like not only do you get good firmware updates and that pretty much fix like all the initial release issues, but you also get like the benefits of everybody who bought it first. You actually have an opportunity to kind of like correct some of the issues that they have.
It is a little slow to start up. It's not like the FX3 where it's on in like maybe 1 second.
Yeah, the FX3 is a little bit slower than that, but
1.5 seconds.
yeah, it's I mean, it might be like 3 seconds, but yes, the FX3 is really quick to turn on, which I think is one of the biggest benefits to it. But this also does take like
You need a good 10 seconds for it to like turn on, connect the mics.
Yes, I think it's like 3 to 5 seconds for it to like kind of turn on. If you use it without the mics, it's a lot quicker. You're right, I think it's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So before it's like really usable, because I like pressed the record button like 2 or 3 times before this clip started. So
if you need like spur of the moment, like super quick shots, maybe not
maybe
this one.
or maybe just leave it on.
Or leave it
I mean,
on.
yeah, like if you're walking through, like just leave it on.
I don't know what the battery life is like yet to do
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna try it. I've got the extended battery handle on here, and I don't think we're gonna like touching it at all. I think this would easily last a day.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can zoom quite far. Not bad. You can put like 3.5mm audio into this. So there is a way to like, you plug in a USB-C adapter to 3.5, and then you could easily plug in like your Rode microphones, like your Video Go microphones. You do have to buy like a little cage. There is no like cold shoe or hot shoe mount on this, but you can definitely add that. One of the other like benefits is the fact that like these will vibrate when you start recording. They also act as remotes, and they do record 32-bit audio. I think the audio in the camera is only 16-bit, so it's okay. I mean, it's probably okay for like most daily things. I think the question I ask myself is like, who is this for, right? Like, I think we bought it for a very particular reason, for mostly like behind the scenes shots. I think we bought it for like things where, you know, we're like trying to go somewhere quick and we don't want to bring the whole camera. Things where like it might be considered inappropriate to bring a larger camera. Even with the FX3, even if we have it in that pared down state, you know, it still draws some attention, especially with like the fuzzy microphone on the top. I think this is a good option for that. Like if you're looking for like behind the scenes shots. For a long time, like I think one of my big questions was like, you know, why not just use an iPhone? Which you definitely can, but this is about the half the price of like an iPhone Pro. I think it's a good purchase for that. It's about the same quality too. I can't complain, but it does only do one purpose really well. So I think the last person who would really benefit from buying something like this would be somebody who wants to get into vlogging, you know, maybe doesn't have a phone that is modern or anything that's like in the last 2 or 3 years, and they're thinking about getting something that is a little bit, you know, more like intentional when it comes to vlogging, which that's part of the reason that I do like vlogging on, you know, the bigger Sony cameras. Not only is like the quality improved, you know, you have a much more dynamic range. S-Log3 is real, you can actually grade it. You know, there's a lot of like flexibility with it in terms of what you can do. But I think this is kind of like the 80%. Like it's 80% there, and you can use it for almost everything. If you're thinking about getting a camera, whether it's like a ZV-1 or something similar in that same price range, I think this is a great option, especially if you really want stable footage. I think that was one of the biggest problems. Like we started vlogging
On a ZV-1.
Yeah, like back in, what is it, like 2020, 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started vlogging back in like 2021. And now, I mean, I had done some like vlog videos before then, you know, and I always kind of like debated on what to use. We did start on a ZV-1, and I think one of the biggest problems that we had with that was, one, it could never go wide enough. This is, I feel like, significantly wider. You can easily get it much further away from your face. And I think the new ZV-1 2 is wider.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that might be an option, but just remember it's not stabilized. So if you're looking for like very stabilized footage, which is like one of the biggest struggles that I had coming into YouTube, is that like everybody I watched on YouTube, anybody that I was like looking up to, anybody that I thought did like really quality video, they all had very stable footage. And then like all the footage that we took was like shaky. And it just felt like garbage, and it made it like really hard for me to like our own videos. I mean, I look back now and I have like...
Granted, we still have unsteady footage.
Oh yeah, but we put a lot of effort into like stabilizing.
Stopping for shots, things like that, more than we used to. We used to like walk and talk a lot, and now we tend to stop and talk to kind of create some stable shots. But this would be really easy to walk and talk with. If you like to walk and talk, this is a good option.
Yeah,
I mean, we're on a walk. We're on a Sunday morning walk, so.
Yeah, and we'll see how bad the footage is when we get it back later. I mean, like I said, this is only stabilizing in a few, like 3 axes, so it's definitely not like the perfect.
Probably better than nothing.
It's 100% better than nothing.
So.
But it still can be shaky
I can't stop
up and
looking at
down.
the screen.
Yeah, it is kind of like
It's
a
really
habit.
tough not to look at the screen.
So,
All
Yeah.
right.
leave the inchworms alone, Kayla.
He's not quite an inch. He might be more like a
Let-
quarter inch.
Let him go free.
Be free.
Yeah. I tried not to kill you.